the city that can't be smart unless there's something to make it smart. So some examples of that from Vantiq's perspective is the country of Japan has sensors, all over the island and also outside on the water for tsunami detection, flood and earthquake on the ground, traffic highway sensors, basically if there was an emergency, how do you get people routed away from the problem areas quickly? So you have to have situation awareness and being able to disseminate that information quickly to the people who need to know. In the case of Japan, NTT Data provides the comms infrastructure, wired and wireless. They're like our version of AT&T here in the US. But the data needs to be collected from the sensors. And what Vantiq basically does is processes that sensor data feeds at the edge, as opposed to pushing all that data from the sensors all the way to the cloud or wherever all that data needs to be processed, because that would be overwhelming to the networks. The other thing that's, I'll say, smart is that the analytics that's applied to those streams of data is then looking for threats and or opportunities, anomalies, something that's not normal from what the sensor does 7x24. And you can think of that like a Ring doorbell. You're not going to send all the data all the time from every doorbell to the cloud, only when there's a guy walking up or gal with a package on your front porch or whatever the case may be. So then you have what's the outcome that needs to happen from all this data, from all these sensors to make it a smart project. And that is, you want to orchestrate humans in the loop, right? Government services that are going to need to react to whatever the threat or opportunity is. You're going to need local first responders to be made aware in the jurisdiction wherever that effect is going to happen. And you're going to want citizens to opt in because they may want to get an early warning system notification to go to higher ground or take this route out of town to that one because it's all jammed up or the infrastructure doesn't support the exit, similar to problems that happened in Nashville. Anyway, long-winded answer to your question, but that's an example, at a large scale. At a slightly lower scale, smaller scale, King Abdullah Financial District is Saudi Arabia's version of Wall Street. And so they're deploying 11,000 cameras all over a large area. It's equivalent to our version of Wall Street. And the idea is that the Saudis want to make sure that that area is considered safe. And so they want to make sure that if something's happening in alleyways or sidewalks or intersections, that the video feeds can process and detect whatever is the situation and get human eyes to react to it as quickly as possible. So for us, we're partnering with AI companies in every one of our projects. This one is specifically around computer vision. So we're looking for, the AI is looking for things, but the AI can't do anything on its own. And so once Vantiq gets an inference from an AI feed, we then orchestrate, what needs to happen next. It's similar to like an Uber's ride, matching the rider, the driver, and then along the way there's a traffic reroute where the rider wants to stop somewhere along the way. Those real-time, asynchronous, non-deterministic problems can pop up at any point, and you still have to get to the conclusion that you want to get to. So sorry for a long-winded answer, but maybe that helps with the smart city.
Smart city. If you were summarizing that, then is it sort of being able to get large amounts of data, processing data, analyzing data, making decisions on data, and or disseminating it, so that decisions can be made or it can be used for good? You just talked about using cameras and this notion of keeping a city safe. Can you delve into that just a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. A little town in Alabama is Opelika. It's the host city for Auburn University. So there, the CIO has a lot of cameras. This police force are getting overwhelmed by notifications about this or that, and it's just a lot of noise, not a whole lot of signal. But in this case, you want to put the right police person at the right place at the right time. And so there's a need for, safely getting people dispatched to whatever might be a threat. And it started with a crawl, walk, run kind of model. So, we basically did a small project in a couple days with the existing Cisco Meraki cameras that they already had deployed. And then we incorporated public works into the use case that he wanted to implement, Dr. Dahl. Keeping the data in a controlled environment and basically being able to incorporate the existing municipal services as needed.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating when you think about the way that that might be able to keep certain cities safe.